let's see, I had a... Ashley asks, Ashley Zombie, how has your life changed now, I'm assuming it's now, that you're doing YouTube? I've been a full-time student, and I've been a guy that works full-time, actual like work full-time, because I know people, well, YouTube isn't a job, it's not actual work. Katie, don't forget, you do have to check time too.
I have been checking.
Oh, she's multitasking. Thank you, sweetie. What? No, I'm not mocking you. Why can't I do something nice without automatically mocking you?
Whoever said that?
You did!
No, I didn't. I asked.
Anyway, how has your life changed now that you're doing YouTube? So I've been a full-time student and a guy, and both a full-time student and also, not at the same time, and also a guy that works for a living. And now that I'm, quote, I guess by some standards not working for a living, although it is work, the biggest thing that's changed is that I've become my biggest critic and my biggest motivator. And the biggest critic one is obvious, because when you're being creative, whatever, when you're putting yourself out there and saying things, trying to be entertaining, informative, entertaining, et cetera, when you're trying to do that, you invariably are your biggest self-critic, and that's one of the reasons why I think that while everybody can be a critic in their own right, telling somebody they suck is really counterproductive. You may say this sucks, but while it may be true, the person you're critiquing probably knows that what they do sucks, or what they do could be a lot better, and they know that. If they are really into it and they really do care about their product, they already know that it's lacking in certain areas. And they probably know. Now, the specifics they might not know. But just in general, saying, they know that it's lacking and they know it could be better. So that's why, it's just my opinion, man, when somebody says, this is shit. And they say, well, you're an asshole. They say, well, it's just my opinion, man. You can't take criticism. I say, well, no. You're critiquing to no end. You're just, I know, or whoever else knows that it's lacking, could be better, should be better, will get better if you do this. But saying this is shit isn't helping anything. And so it's likely, and in that vein, I've become my own biggest critic. Whereas before, being a student, well, the teachers were the biggest critics, and working for a living, my boss was my biggest critic. And although I work hard, and I never really had a run-in with a boss. And working in YouTube, I've become my biggest critic, and what's more, I've become my biggest motivator. When you're a student, it's the degree or the knowledge or the grades, and when you're working, it's usually the money. Oh, the money. Oh. It's the money. And that's okay. But here, I no longer, and also when you're a student and when you're working in a 9 to 5, we'll call it, you have structure around you to remind you what you should be doing and what you do to keep going. And when you're doing what I do, that's not really there. Now, guys like Philip DeFranco, who've got a staff and who have a big-ass business surrounding what they do, it's probably very structured. Especially, I said Philip DeFranco, name drop for the win, and he goes to a studio every day. And that is probably the biggest help in that even Joe Rogan, Adam Carolla, where they do their big podcasts, they have a studio. And so it's easy to have that be the structure and say, I go work here now. I mean, I am my own boss and I set my own hours and I do whatever the fuck I want, but I do it when I want to. And also that there's this thing there that I know that if I want to work, I've got to go here to do it. And so those are probably the two biggest things that have changed it's not sleeping late, staying up late, you know, sometimes being able to get drunk and make a little money off of it. It's not that. I mean, I guess that kind of means that when I was working, I got drunk and made money from it. I mean, that's something that's new to YouTube as well for me. I mean, there was that one. Never mind. I don't want to talk about that. But it really, for me, it's, thunder. For me, it's, I am my own, I have become everything to my professional existence. I am my biggest critic, and I am the structure for myself and for what I do. And it's all up to me. And if I start slacking, I've got nobody to blame but me. And if I start fucking up, I've got nobody to blame but me. Except when Katie lets the video get out of focus.